AR kind of showed like, hey, I might be the real deal on some throws. Like that deep ball to Alec Pierce was absolutely disgusting. That was sick.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the play-by-play. First week of NFL football is wrapped up. Moving on to week 2, but it's the perfect time to overreact and kind of go through week 1 and see kind of just what's going on, where all the teams kind of sit and all that. So I'll go ahead and start off. We'll start off with the Thursday night game of the Chiefs and Ravens. The Chiefs and Ravens. There we go. I wanted to say Eagles for some reason. Chiefs and Ravens. I know we obviously have a Ravens fan here, so I'll let him talk in just a second. But Chiefs, I personally thought they'd stumble out of the gate. They have past years. They didn't. Shocker. I bet on the Ravens. Ravens lost.
Same.
But I think that game kind of went the way people thought. The Chiefs were still going to prove that they were the Chiefs. I feel like if they were going to slip up, it wasn't going to be against the Ravens. It would have been against like a mid-table team or something like that. So I'll pass it off to our Ravens fan and see what he has to say about the entire game.
Yeah, even though I'm wearing a Bijan Robinson jersey, I am a Ravens fan. This is just my boy. But yeah, as a Ravens fan, that game was heartbreaking to say the least. I think it was our game to lose. I felt like we had good control of the game. It's just, of course, it's the Chiefs. Whenever you think, oh, they're gonna digress a little bit. Oh, let's just draft Xavier Worthy, who is literally the fastest player in the NFL and scores 2 touchdowns on us. Like he's a 5-year vet. It's just really annoying to play the Chiefs. I think safe to say they become our biggest rival, even including our own division. It's just it's tough. Likely had that much of his toe out, and some would say, because we were going for the win. We were going to go for 2 if we got that touchdown. So some would say that was the Ravens game to win, and we ended up losing. But, good on the Chiefs. We'll definitely see him again in the playoffs. I don't see the Ravens slipping up after this. Obviously, there's some tough matchups. I think AFC North is stacked, even though the week 1 scores and outcomes didn't really show it. Bengals getting upset by the Patriots, Browns getting absolutely clapped at home against the Cowboys, and the Steelers actually, showed out. Their defense showed that they are, some would say, elite. TJ Watt, obviously one of the best players in the NFL. You have Minkah Fitzpatrick. You add Patrick Queen to that defense. It's just, that defense is scary. And of course, you have Justin Fields, who's looking like he's going to become the starter, at least for week 2 as well. With Russell Wilson's injury, I just think that offense is going to slow that team down a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I think it's kind of weird how Russ was apparently pushing to start, and then now they're saying he might not even be good enough for week 2. I feel like this is a situation where they're like, oh yeah, he's not healthy. Let's see how Justin Fields does.
Yeah.
And then you can go to him. He's back healthy if Justin Fields doesn't have a few good games. But if he does have good games or plays the way I guess we saw flashes in Chicago with him, then you just keep it rolling with him. I mean, he had, I wouldn't even say a mediocre game. They're one of only 2 teams won without scoring an offensive touchdown. So I guess with that interesting situation where they're only paying both quarterbacks $2 million combined, we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah. Heading off to another division in the AFC, let's go to the AFC South. Big division matchup week 1. We had Houston Texans versus the Colts. What a game, but let's see what you think about it.
I mean, the Texans could not run the ball to save their life last year. And I mean, to CJ's credit, I mean, he had a great rookie season, and but now we got Joe Mixon toting the rock, and he carried it 30 times for 160 yards. And I mean, shit, the Colts still played a hell of a game, and I mean, but they edged it out, and but I think it just shows you what, especially when you get to the playoffs, when you need that extra, few yards or or you need your quarterback to make a big play like they did with 3rd and 7 with Nico Collins. That's what separates a team from, we almost had it, to getting you over the hump. So
I think they prove that their superstars could step up when they needed to. Stephon Diggs, 2 touchdowns on the day. A lot of people thought with Nico, with Tank, with Joe, Stephon might get put to the side a little bit, but it seems like CJ Stroud and that offense is, they really are good at distributing the ball where it needs to go. They know how to use their playmakers. And not to give any, flack for the Colts, because AR kind of showed like, hey, I might be the real deal on some throws. Like that deep ball to Alec Pierce was absolutely disgusting. That was sick.
Off his back foot.
So, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, one of the things, everybody's always known that AR has a hose. He looked good. It was nice to see the fact that he wasn't scared to run after multiple injuries, only finishing 1 game out of the 4 he started. I honestly want to blame this entire loss on the entire NFL, because I don't understand how someone can have such a good year like Bobby Slowick did, and so somehow he's still the offensive coordinator only for the Texans. I understand it's only going to be for 1 more year, but this is a year-to-year basis. I mean, I think it's that. I don't know how
he's gonna be a head coach.
Listen, when Dan Quinn gets fired from Washington, but
there you
go. But yeah, the Colts look good. Obviously, you don't like it when someone, lack of a better term, they just keep pounding the rock. I mean, they shoved it down the Colts' throat. They really did. Not never. It's been a while since I've seen the Colts get bullied like that.
Gashed all game.
Just destroyed in that. Obviously, it came down to the final few plays. CJ Stroud had an amazing throw on the sidelines to, I think, Tank Dell.
No, that was the one that was Nico, the one I was talking about. Yeah.
To seal the game. And, like AJ was talking about, there are plays in a game that are going to define what team you are. The good teams will make those plays. Bad teams won't. And the Texans are a good team. They made the play. They sealed out the game, won the game. I think that I could see the Colts.
I'd say the Colts inexperience is
definitely
showed for sure. Yeah, that's a young team. You want to see, at least, I swear this is not my USC bias, but I would like to see Michael Pittman involved more in the offense, only catching, 3 balls. But that'll come. The chemistry will come. AR is gonna, get locked in, especially when it gets to the end of the games where, it's that crunch time, it's that high momentum game. So,
and I think that this game really summed up where the two teams are. You have the Texans, who look like they're going to challenge for the Super Bowl, and they look that way. And the Colts, although also had a good game, really look like they're the team that is going to make the wild card, make it rough for a team to win a playoff game, but I could see them losing their first playoff game. I'm confident enough to say that it looks like the Colts look good enough to win enough games to get a wild card spot. But I don't know if they're good enough to go anywhere past that.
It's also tough because the AFC is miles better than the NFC.
Every single good quarterback's in the AFC. Every single one of them.
It's going to be tough to, sneak in that wild card spot, but in that division, you can definitely make an argument that, if, barring any slip ups on the Texans, maybe Colts sneak in and win that division. You never know.
They were 1 pass away with Gardner Minshew last year.
Yeah, so you would like to think,
but I think the Texans have gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Obviously, the Texans are the team to beat there, but that division is just so. Excluding the Titans. Titans are garbage.
Yeah,
but the Jaguars, they can compete. Colts can obviously compete with the Texans, and the Texans are the big kid in the sandbox. So we'll see on that. I think we could bounce over to probably a big surprise would be the Patriots against the Bengals.
Huge. Huge.
I don't think anyone thought that the Bengals were going to lose that game, but they did. Gerard Mayo, first-year head coach, defensive-minded guy. He went out there and he showed, hey, we're going to smack you in the mouth on defense, and we're going to do what we got to do on offense. Jacoby Brissett, obviously not a star, but he's been around the league a lot, and he's a journeyman. He knows what to do, and to take care of the rock. And the Bengals' lack of offensive firepower really showed, because you would think even with that, with a good defense, with Christian Gonzalez on the other side, you would think, okay, the Bengals could kind of pick apart, but they just couldn't get anything going all year or all game.
That looked like a typical Patriots win.
Yeah.
Back when Bill was the coach and stuff
Dirty.
like that, wasn't pretty. And like you said, Jacoby, he's that guy where you're not going to win a game because you have Jacoby Brissett, but you're not going to lose a game because you have Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
And I think
he's
if
a
your
game
defense
manager.
is good, yeah,
He's
if
a
your
game manager,
defense
which
is
isn't a
good,
bad thing.
no. Well, and if your defense is good and can take care of a good offense, yes, they were missing T. Higgins, and I'll get to it in a second, but it doesn't look like Joe Burrow yet. But it honestly, watching the game made me think this team looks like Bill Belichick's, like with a competent quarterback. Obviously, you had the greatest of all time for such a long time, and Tom Brady probably puts up more points than Jacoby Brissett does, but it was dirty. It was just typical
When you got
Patriots
dogs
football.
on defense like
Yeah.
that,
It was typical Patriots football. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the lack of run game, obviously, like I was talking about how good Joe Mixon was. I mean, what do you think he would have done if he was playing against them this week? I mean, who knows? They probably win if they have him this week. And obviously having no T. Higgins and then Jamar, God,
pretty limited in the game, with the holdout and stuff.
I mean, he did have like 4 or 5 catches, but just I don't think he's checked in right now. He's just waiting heavily on that contract, and I mean, it showed. The team came out flat, couldn't run the ball, and that's what happens in the NFL any given Sunday.
Yeah. And obviously, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, Joe Burrow definitely doesn't seem 100%. During the game, he's shaking his wrists. He could barely pick up a water bottle. Like, it's showing.
It's sad because, obviously his rookie year, he got hurt, right? Tore his ACL. Was that his rookie
Second
year?
year.
Second year, okay. So second year, he tears his ACL. Third year, he's just, I can't remember all the
Always
injuries he's had
banged
off
up.
the top.
Always banged
always
up.
banged
There was
up.
a lot of them.
Brings, as a Colts fan, it brings a lot of vibes of Andrew Luck, where you have this dude, like Andrew Luck should have been. He's not. Should have been a Hall of Famer. He doesn't deserve to go in the Hall. But if he had a full career, I think it would have been without a doubt.
Yeah.
And you had him, and for some reason, you never got the guys to protect him. I think that's kind of the same thing with Burrow, and I don't want to put that on Burrow. I never want anything to happen like that to any quarterback. But it's starting to show, he's not recovering from these injuries, and I know this injury was a unique injury for a quarterback, but it's really starting to rear his head, and if he can't get over this injury, you're putting yourself in a lot of danger throwing him out there. Not that he's going to hurt the wrist more, but he might hurt the elbow because he's relying on that more. It's like a pitcher. I know AJ knows this. Pitcher has tight legs. He might hurt his arm because now he's relying more on his arm than he is his legs. Joe Burrow might do the same thing with some other body part, and
You're
he picks
compensating
up another
for it,
injury.
Sure.
And then it's a whole spiral. It's a whole spiral until it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And then it slaps you across the face like retiring a week before the season starts.
Let's fast forward a little bit to Monday Night Football. 49ers still showed they're probably the best team in the NFL. That defense is scary. Fred Warner is a dog. Brock Purdy's kind of teeter-tottering. Like, do people think he's good? Do people think he's bad?
Good.
Do people think he's a product of the system? I'm on the train of he's good. At the end of the day, you can have all these weapons, but you still need to get on the damn ball.
He hits everybody perfect. Not perfect, but he
doesn't make mistakes.
doesn't make mistakes.
But when you look
Everything's
at it, the FCMC goes down with an injury. Oh, let's put in Jordan Mason, undrafted out of Georgia Tech. Oh, career day, 160 yards on the ground, touchdown. Of course. Okay, well, we stopped him. Let's see if we can at least force a field goal. Not guaranteed. It's guaranteed with the 49ers. Jake Moody goes out there, hits 5-6 field goals.
Yeah, and like
It's ridiculous.
like 4 of them
50
past
yards.
40 yards.
And it's like, it's not even close. They're right down the freaking middle. And there's
No wobble, nothing, just straight shot.
Perfect. And then, they use Debo a lot more. Obviously, they had to with the lack of CMC. You saw him at running back. You saw him in the slot. You saw him outside. I think Debo really showed, and I'm a Debo fan. I think he really showed that he could be that versatile weapon if he just gets the production.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And then what do you think about like Brandon Ayuk kind of being disappeared?
I mean,
kind of being gone.
For anyone that watches ESPN with the Manning brothers, I mean, even Peyton was upset, and he's not a guy that's going to show you a lot of emotion. And he outright during the stream goes, well, you show up to training camp, you train, and we make that catch. And I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of Brock Purdy, but he put it on him. It wasn't like he was stretching to the fingertips. It was right in his chest, giving a dive. But, NFL, you expect to make that catch, especially a guy making $25 million a year now.
More than that.
Suspension.
For sure.
Is it more than that? Oh, it was more than that.
It's 20
for 100, I thought, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right at 25, 26.
So that's why you get paid. You get paid to make those catches.
Okay.
And, maybe if he is rusty, I mean, he only had 2 catches in the game, maybe you make that catch. Obviously, it didn't end up mattering because, I mean, they're just such a great all-around team. But, it's going to take him a few couple weeks, get his feet.
Fantasy owners don't panic. I think he's still going to, it's going to take him a while to catch up to speed, like Jamar Chase. When you hold out, when you don't go to training camp, that just shows how important it is to
get the reps.
Practice, even in the NFL, even as veterans. You just need those live reps. You need in-game reps. And they showed that they couldn't handle that on the first week.
I don't think Brandon Ayuk, like you said, you make that much money, you got to catch the ball. I will say that although they definitely took care of the Jets, obviously a big game, Monday Night Football, everybody's watching. Imagine Brandon Ayuk drops that ball. The Jets win. A lot of different headlines. Everybody's saying, oh, Brandon Ayuk, if they'd be serious about Brandon Ayuk, should have been in training camp, you could probably catch that ball. I'm all for everybody getting paid, and you got to do what you got to do to get paid. Obviously, I mean, the NFL also keeps going. The NFL's proven time and time again that no matter what, it's going to keep going. I just, like AJ said, I'm sorry to repeat it, but someone that plays, if that's Deebo Samuel, probably makes that catch. Deebo Samuel, also, in my opinion, hot take, might be the best athlete in the NFL.
It's not too hot. It's like a medium take.
They did say that he looks the best going into the season as far as like train. Like I think this is the lightest he's ever been. In his career.
And I'm not talking about like obviously by most athletic. I don't think he's the best player in the NFL or whatever or the biggest threat. I just think that the way he moves,
do so much for him.
And I think it obviously, like we were talking about with Brock Purdy with the weapons, I think it helps him a lot that he probably has 4 of the best athletes in the NFL on his team between CMC,
Trent Williams.
Yeah, I was about to say, and Trent Williams and Debo.
It should be illegal to move that good with how big he is.
And old.
Yeah.
But, what are you going to do?